Here's 5 things you can do every day to support your overall cycle and hormonal health. If you're new here, hi, my name is Denise. I'm a cycle and sexual health educator, clinical herbalist, and cycle health coach. Now, when it comes to our cycle health and healing our hormones naturally, the biggest takeaway from this is to be doing these activities on a regular basis because the routine of it is what overall will help you be able to heal and balance your hormones. Now, the benefit to having a routine around your cycle and hormonal health is within the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the time, you're doing things that will support your hormones, your cycle, your overall health. While the 20%, you can have a little bit of leeway to just kind of live life. And having that routine is essentially the foundation to that 80-20 rule that I like to think of. Now, the first thing you can do to support your cycle and hormonal health is checking in with yourself and where you are in your cycle, what phase you're in, what are your energies like. Tapping into where you yourself are in your cycle is so beneficial because instead of having to force ourselves to either work out, go grocery shopping, or just kind of doing more events or things that we don't want to generally do because maybe that phase of our cycle doesn't have the energy reserves for that. And tuning into that knowledge is so helpful because we don't have to push ourselves to do something. Instead, what we learn to do is working with our bodies instead of against them. So, regularly checking in, charting your cycle, being aware of where you are in your cycle, your full complete cycle, checking in if you are in your pre-ovulatory phase, around ovulation, or in your post-ovulatory phase, because all of these are going to be very different seasons of yourself. Now, if you want to learn more about what it is like to chart your cycle on a day-to-day basis, I'll have it linked down below where it really goes into detail into what kind of information tracking your cycle like that can give you beyond just knowing where you are in your cycle. Now, the second thing you can do to support your cycle and hormonal health is having a balanced breakfast. Now, I know this is a little cheesy because it's thought of like as the most important meal of the day is breakfast, but it honestly really is. It's the first meal that is introduced into your body after having 8 to 12, however long you were sleeping. And it is essentially what kind of, I don't like to say fuels you, but it kind of does in a way. Because remember, we are made up of what we eat a lot of the times. So, what exactly encompasses a balanced breakfast? So, the way I like to break it down is having a good source of protein, making sure that it is enough protein, and having it either be wild caught, free range, or just generally a good quality source. Having a simple or complex carb on the side, so like sweet potatoes are probably my favorite go-tos in the morning. Something fresh, so some veggies or some fruit, and then having a healthy source of fat as well. All of these together will help satiate you for quite some time, and then also it's a really good building blocks to start your day. Now, the next one is really good if you have an office job or if you work from home like I do, and that is getting up and moving your body throughout that workday. Sitting for extended periods of times really negatively impacts our pelvis and pelvic bowl, which our uterus and ovaries sit in. Now, this lack of movement can really restrict the circulation and blood flow to that area, and our ovaries are the main production of estrogen. And then once we ovulate, it turns into the corpus luteum, and that is how we produce progesterone. So that area really needs a good supply of blood flow to really nourish those tissues. So getting up once a mile, stretching is really good for not only, of course, our pelvic bowl, but also our pelvic muscles as well. Now, something I've been trying to get more into the habit of is scheduling in my workout routine roughly right in the center of my work day. Now, it isn't the easiest because I am more of a morning person and I enjoy working out in the morning. It feels like it gives me a lot of energy, but having it be in the center of my work day does help me start moving and really kind of get that circulation going. Even if it's just getting up, stretching, going for a walk every hour or so is moving in the right direction. Next one's all about resting, how rest is so important for our hormonal and cycle health. Now, ideally, you want to try to rest and de-stress every single day. That way, we kind of unplug from our workday and just kind of drop a little bit more into our bodies. And finding what de-stresses you or winds you down at the end of the day will vary by individual and your own unique preferences. And setting this time aside is so important for our nervous system to really just kind of wind down because it is essentially is what's supporting our nervous system the most. After many of us experience such a high-strung, tense day, we need something to help the body know that it is over, that it's time to relax. That way we are able to disconnect everyday life from our personal life. So really play around with what you notice helps you unwind, whether that be sunbathing, video games as long as they're nice relaxing video games, painting, drawing, playing music, making music, reading, writing. There is honestly infinite possibilities and you just kind of have to be curious about what will help you kind of find that like inner peace. Now, this last one is going to bed at a consistent time and preferably completely in the dark. Our bodies really enjoy cycles and routines, just like our menstrual cycle, our hormonal cycle, and our circadian rhythm is kind of a cycle within itself. Going to sleep at the same time at a consistent basis will help overall sleep quality, but also it will help communicate to your body that roughly this time is the time to go to sleep. So you'll start to notice that you will naturally become tired during that time period. And sleep is so important for our cycle and hormonal health because it's the time that our body is processing all of those used up and excess hormones, processing cortisol in our body, and essentially almost like doing maintenance work at the cellular level. Now, this is achieved a lot better if you are in a dark environment because part of our circadian rhythm is waking up with the sun, which means any external light source that is in your bedroom could be impacting your circadian rhythm because your body might not know if that is the sun rising or if that's just a night light. But you can try it out for yourself, having whatever lights, and then trying to get blackout curtains or sleeping with a face mask for a couple nights just to see if there is a change in your quality of sleep. Now, these are just a couple of ideas, but essentially, this does have a really good foundation for a good routine so that you can support your cycle and hormonal health without even having to really think about it until you kind of just forms a habit. Now, if you want more ideas on what constitutes a balanced breakfast or other meal plan ideas, or if you generally just want more information on how to heal your cycle and hormones naturally, then I recommend checking out the starter kit. I'll have it linked down in the description that goes into more detail on how to get started on healing your cycle and healing your hormones naturally. Now, if you have any video recommendations, any comments, any other routines that you would like me to look at, then you can drop it down below in the comments. Otherwise, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope this video helped you, and I'll be seeing you next time.